All right, so let's dive into something both ancient and cutting edge. Humans merging with machines.
Sounds good.
Cyborgs, AI, brain-computer interfaces, all that jazz you sent over some really interesting articles and research on this. So
Yeah.
let's break it all down,
This idea of tech transcendence, like where technology just fundamentally changes what it means to be human,
Right.
that's been around forever.
Yeah, totally. It's like that myth of Icarus building wings to try and be like a god, that desire to just push our limits, overcome our biology.
And it shows up in history in some concrete ways. Like, did you know the ancient Egyptians used prosthetics way back when?
I did not know that.
And not just for like practical reasons.
Interesting.
We have records of this prosthetic toe, and it points to an early desire to not just replace what was lost, but maybe actually enhance the human form.
That's wild. So they were already kind of pushing those boundaries back then.
So then fast forward to the Renaissance, and you've got Da Vinci sketching out robotic knights,
Wow.
blending art and engineering in ways that really foreshadow our modern fascination with robots.
Like planting the seeds for our future.
Right, and then boom, Industrial Revolution hits.
There it is.
And machines start taking over physical labor, and that's where I think our complex relationship with technology really begins as we know it today.
Yeah, it's like that era really laid the groundwork for everything that came after.
Exactly.
So we've got this historical backdrop of wanting to push limits. But when does this idea of actually like merging with machines take shape?
That's where cybernetics comes in.
Okay.
So in the mid-20th century, this whole new field emerges that explores how biological and mechanical systems can interact. And that lays the groundwork for modern AI and the whole idea that machines could not just mimic, but potentially surpass human intelligence.
So this is where things start to get really interesting. So who are some of the key thinkers in this cybernetics movement?
Well, one name you absolutely have to know is Norbert Wiener. His work on cybernetics was groundbreaking. He was exploring ideas of feedback loops and control systems that apply to both living organisms and machines.
Oh, wow. Connecting the dots
Exactly.
between our bodies and machines.
Yes, and those connections paved the way for a movement that is still going strong today, transhumanism.
Transhumanism, using tech to just radically improve the human condition, right?
That's it in a nutshell.
Overcoming disease, extending lifespan, boosting our abilities, the works.
The works, it's this bold vision of a future where we transcend our current limitations.
And who are some of the big names in this transhumanist vision?
Well, you've got to mention Nick Bostrom,
Okay.
works at Oxford's Future of Humanity Institute,
Right.
delves into the ethics and societal implications of these advancements, really grappling with the big questions of what it means to be human in an age of radical technological change.
So not just focus on the cool tech, but the consequences.
Exactly. And then there's Ray Kurzweil, famous for his predictions about the singularity.
The singularity, this is where things start to feel like sci-fi. So remind me, what exactly did he predict will happen?
Well, he predicts that artificial intelligence will eventually become so intelligent
Okay.
that it surpasses human intelligence and leads to this explosion of technological advancement that is beyond our comprehension.
Wow. Did a lot to process. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got the philosophy, we've got this grand transhumanist vision, but let's talk about the tech that could make this merger a reality.
Right.
What are the key areas driving this revolution?
Well, artificial intelligence is a major one.
Of course.
Already all around us, from the algorithms on social media to self-driving cars.
Absolutely.
And it's only going to get more sophisticated, more capable of doing things we thought only humans could do.
Yeah, I can definitely see that playing a huge role.
Wow.
What else?
Then you have brain-computer interfaces, BCIs.
Okay.
These allow direct communication between our brains and devices, restoring movement for people with paralysis, enabling communication for those who can't speak, maybe even telepathic communication in the future.
Telepathy, now we're talking. That is going to blow people's minds.
Yeah, pretty incredible stuff. And let's not forget about bio-mechatronics combines biology, mechanics, electronics,
Right.
creating prosthetics that mimic natural limb movement, blurring the lines between human and machine.
Okay, so we've got all these incredible advancements happening.
Yeah.
But who are the big names, the visionaries making this future happen?
Well, we already touched on Ray Kurzweil with the singularity, but then you have Elon Musk pushing the boundaries with his company Neuralink.
Yeah.
They're developing implantable BCIs that could revolutionize how we interact with technology and even with each other.
Musk is always at the forefront of this stuff. It's exciting that he's putting resources behind something like Neuralink. What about other pioneers in this field?
Well, Kevin Warwick, also known as Captain Cyborg,
I've heard of him.
famously experimented with implants in his own body,
Wow.
pushing the boundaries of what it means to be a cyborg.
That's dedication. But amidst all this excitement, we have to remember there are potential downsides, too. Didn't Nick Bostrom warn us about some of the dangers of this merging of man and machine?
He's been very vocal about the potential risks of superintelligent AI.
Right.
Importance of proceeding with caution.
It's not all sunshine and roses.
Yeah.
What are some of the specific concerns he's raised?
Well, one of the biggest is that if we're not careful,
Yeah.
these technologies could exacerbate existing inequalities.
Right.
Imagine a world where only the wealthy can afford to enhance themselves, creating a massive divide between the haves and have-nots.
That's a scary thought, and it feels like that's a very real possibility.
It is. So we need to be mindful of these potential consequences and ensure these advancements benefit all of humanity, not just a select few.
Couldn't agree more.
Darren.
There's a lot to consider here. It's not just about cool new gadgets. It's about the future of humanity itself.
Exactly. We're talking about shaping the very essence of what it means to be human in a technological age.
And that's a conversation worth having.
And it really is a profound shift, and one that raises all sorts of questions about our identity.
Exactly. If we start, merging with machines, enhancing our brains, altering our bodies, like where does the human stop and the machine begin?
Yeah.
It's like we're stepping into this transhumanist gray area, and I'm not even sure we have the language to talk about it yet.
It's true. We're having to invent new ways of thinking about what it means to be human.
Right.
Like if we can upload our minds, enhance our memories, or even alter our emotions with technology,
Yeah.
what happens to our sense of self?
It's almost like we're rewriting the definition of human in real time.
In a way, we are, and that's why it's crucial to have these conversations now to really grapple with these questions before these technologies become even more advanced. We need to be proactive, not reactive.
I agree. We can't just let the technology dictate our future. We have to consciously shape it. But how do we even begin to navigate these uncharted waters?
Well, I think it starts with acknowledging the potential downsides. Those dystopian possibilities that we often see in science fiction. We've already talked about inequality, but there's also the potential for loss of privacy, autonomy, and even control over our own minds.
It's like opening Pandora's box. We can't be sure what we'll find inside.
That's a good analogy, and it underscores the need for careful consideration and ethical guidelines as we develop and implement these technologies.
So it's not just about the wow factor of the tech itself, but about the potential consequences, both good and bad.
Precisely, and that's where policy and regulation come in. We need governments and international organizations to step up and create frameworks for responsible innovation in this space.
So we can't just leave this up to the tech companies and scientists.
Absolutely not. This is too important to leave to the whims of the market or the unchecked ambitions of a few individuals. We need thoughtful, comprehensive regulations that prioritize human well-being and ensure these technologies are used ethically and for the benefit of all.
I think a lot of people would agree with that. But realistically, can we keep up with the pace of technological change? It seems like things are moving at warp speed these days.
It's definitely a challenge, but I think we have to try.
Yeah.
We can't afford to wait until it's too late.
So what can we do? Where do we even begin?
Well, education and awareness are key. The more people understand these technologies, the potential benefits and risks,
Right.
the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions and demand responsible development and use.
Right. It's about empowering people to be active participants in this conversation, not just passive observers.
Exactly, because ultimately this is about our collective future.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential risks,
Yeah.
the need for ethical guidelines, but let's not forget about the potential benefits of merging with machines. Imagine a world without disease, with enhanced abilities, maybe even extended lifespans. That's pretty exciting, isn't it?
It is. It's the kind of future that a lot of people, especially those in the transhumanist movement, are striving for. Imagine a world where paralysis is a thing of the past, where mental illness can be treated effectively, where we can learn and process information at incredible speeds. It's a future where human potential is truly unleashed.
It's like taking everything we know about human capability and multiplying it exponentially.
Exactly. And that's what makes this such a fascinating yet challenging topic. we're talking about a future where the lines between human and machine become increasingly blurred, where the very definition of what it means to be human is up for grabs.
And that brings us back to those fundamental questions about our identity and our values.
Exactly. It's a conversation that's only going to get more important as these technologies continue to advance.
I agree. So we've talked about the big picture, philosophical underpinnings and the potential benefits and risks. Now, I'd love to dig into some real-world examples of how humans are already merging with machines. Let's start with BCI's brain-computer interfaces. They're already being used to change lives in some pretty incredible ways.
They are, and the applications are growing rapidly. One of the most exciting areas is in restoring movement for people with paralysis.
Right.
Using implanted electrodes, we can now detect brain activity and translate those signals into commands that control external devices, like prosthetic limbs, computer cursors, even exoskeletons.
Wait, so someone who's paralyzed could think about moving their arm, and a robotic arm would actually respond.
That's right. We've seen incredible breakthroughs in this area.
Wow.
For example, researchers at Brown University developed a system called BrainGate that allows people with paralysis to control a robotic arm just by thinking about the movements they want to make.
That's mind-blowing. So it's like their thoughts are being translated into physical actions.
Exactly. It's giving people back a level of independence and mobility they never thought possible.
That's amazing. And it's not just about movement, right?
Right.
BCIs are also being used to help people who have lost the ability to communicate.
Absolutely. For individuals who have suffered a stroke or have conditions like ALS,
right?
BCIs can offer a lifeline. They can use their brain activity to spell out words, compose messages, or even have their thoughts converted into synthesized speech.
It's like giving people back their voice. That's incredibly powerful.
It is. And the research is on. Scientists are exploring ways to use BCIs to treat a wide range of neurological disorders, from Parkinson's disease to epilepsy. There's even research looking at using BCIs to enhance memory and cognitive function in healthy individuals.
Hold on, enhancing memory and cognitive function, that sounds pretty futuristic and maybe a little bit scary.
It is a bit of both, and that's why ethical considerations are so important.
Right.
We need to have open and honest conversations about the potential risks and benefits of these technologies, and we need to proceed with caution.
I think a lot of people are wary of that kind of enhancement.
Yeah.
It raises all sorts of questions about fairness, access, and what it means to be human.
It does, and those are questions that we as a society need to grapple with, but the potential is there, and it's hard to ignore. Imagine a world where we could use BCIs to overcome learning disabilities, enhance creativity, or even accelerate the learning process.
That's a lot to consider, but it's clear that BCIs have the potential to revolutionize medicine and our understanding of the human brain.
Absolutely, and a field is evolving rapidly. Who knows what amazing applications we'll see in the next decade.
So we've talked about BCIs. What about other examples of human-machine merging that are happening right now?
Well, let's move on to bio-mechatronics, which, as you know, is all about creating devices that interact seamlessly with the human body.
So we're talking about advanced prosthetics, right?
Right.
But not your average prosthetic limbs.
Exactly. We're talking about prosthetic legs that can adapt to different terrains, prosthetic hands that can grip and manipulate objects with incredible precision, and even prosthetic limbs that can be controlled directly by the user's thoughts.
That's amazing. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
It does, doesn't it? But it's real, and it's changing lives.
Yeah.
For example, Hugh Hare, who heads the Bio-mechatronics group at MIT, is a double amputee who has dedicated his life to developing prosthetics that allow people to move and function in ways they never thought possible.
Wow.
He's even designed prosthetic legs that allow him to rock climb at an incredibly high level.
That's incredibly inspiring. It shows how technology can not only restore function, but actually enhance human potential.
It's a powerful example, and these advancements aren't just for people with disabilities. There's growing interest in using biomechatronics to enhance human capabilities in general. Exoskeletons are being developed to help workers lift heavy objects, soldiers carry heavy loads, and athletes perform at higher levels.
It sounds like we're on the verge of a world where the boundaries of human ability are constantly being pushed further.
We are, and as with any powerful technology, we need to be mindful of the potential consequences, both positive and negative.
Right. It's about finding that balance, embracing the potential while mitigating the risks. Not an easy task, but an important one. Now, before we get into that deeper discussion about ethics and the future of humanity, let's take a short break to hear from our sponsor. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, from ancient prosthetics to cutting-edge brain-computer interfaces, and along the way, we keep bumping into this idea of artificial intelligence, AI. It seems like AI is woven into everything these days, and it's evolving at an incredible pace.
It really is, and it's a key piece of the puzzle when we're talking about the future of human enhancement.
Right.
It's already augmenting our abilities in countless ways, from, filtering the information we see online to helping doctors diagnose diseases more accurately.
Absolutely.
But as AI becomes even more sophisticated, more capable of independent learning and decision-making, it raises some pretty profound questions about the relationship between human intelligence and artificial intelligence.
Right. Like, is AI going to surpass human intelligence at some point? Is that whole singularity thing that Kurzweil talks about a real possibility?
Right.
It's a bit unsettling to think about, honestly.
It's definitely a possibility we need to consider seriously, but it's not necessarily a dystopian scenario where machines take over and humans become obsolete.
Okay.
Some experts believe that AI, rather than replacing us, could become a powerful tool for collaboration and problem solving.
Interesting.
Imagine human creativity and intuition amplified by the analytical power of AI.
So instead of humans versus machines, it's more like humans working with machines to create something even greater.
Exactly. Imagine a world where we have AI assistants that can help us think more clearly, process information more efficiently, make better decisions. AI could help us tackle complex problems like climate change, disease, and poverty in ways we can't even imagine right now.
That's a much more optimistic vision than the robots taking over the world scenario.
Yeah.
But even in that more positive vision, doesn't it raise questions about what it means to be human? Like, if we're relying on AI to do so much of our thinking for us, will we lose something essential along the way?
That's a valid concern. We need to be mindful of the potential for over-reliance on AI and make sure that we don't just become passive recipients of information or give up our own critical thinking abilities.
Right.
Technology is a tool.
Yeah.
It's up to us to use it wisely and ethically.
So as we start to wrap up this deep dive into the merging of humans and machines,
Okay.
what are some key takeaways you hope our listener will walk away with?
Well, first, I hope they appreciate that this isn't just a futuristic fantasy. It's happening right now all around us. We're already seeing the early stages of this merger in fields like medicine, robotics, and artificial intelligence. And second, I hope they understand that this isn't just about cool gadgets and technological advancements. It's a profound shift that has the potential to reshape what it means to be human, and that means we need to engage in thoughtful, ethical discussions about the values and principles that will guide us as we navigate this uncharted territory.
It's a lot to think about, but it's also incredibly exciting. Who knows what the future holds? But one thing's for sure, it's going to be an incredible ride.
I agree, and I hope our listeners feel empowered to be an active participant in shaping that future.
Absolutely, to our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep imagining the possibilities. This deep dive has given you a glimpse into the incredible potential and the complex challenges of merging humans and machines. And as we move forward, it's up to all of us to make sure that these advancements serve humanity and lead us toward a brighter future.